Man City return to the Etihad Stadium on Tuesday night when they welcome Bayer Leverkusen for a match in the Champions League. Now, this fixture will be City's fifth in the league phase. They've picked up 10 points so far. They won three and drawn one. They're yet to lose so far. They most recently beat one of Leverkusen's Bundesliga rivals, Borussia Dortmund, 4-1 on home soil 3 weeks ago. As for Leverkusen, they've actually collected half as many points as Man City. They're just five from their opening four games. They failed to win any of their first three against Copenhagen, PSV Eindhoven, and PSG. They notably lost 7-2 to PSG, but they did beat Benfica 1-0 away from home in their most recent league phase match. And since then, they've also won the last two Bundesliga games by an aggregate score of 9-1. So starting to build up a nice run of form there, Leverkusen. Stephen, what sort of match then do you think we could be in store for? You'd assume that Leverkusen maybe will learn a lot from Dortmund's display against Man City recently, and will hope to put in show a bit of a greater threat on Tuesday. But is this a game that City should be confident for? How optimistic are you for this one?
No, I think City should win this. I know the new manager's come in and he's had a pretty good start so far. They're up in third in the Bundesliga and they've very much turned it around. And yeah, and looking at the results, 3-1 or 6-0. Um, Before that, of course, they did lose to Bayern 3-0. There's no shame in that because they were just walking that league. Yeah, they're obviously a decent side now. And, they've got a goal scoring Schick he's reliable for them. The quality. Poku and Grimaldo getting forward, ex-City lad Garcia in midfield as well. They're a good side. They're an aggressive side. They're physical. They're going to work really hard. But I still expect Manchester City should have too much for this. Like this is, I would look. It's probably a tough time to be Leverkusen after that City that loss. It's such a cliche, but I do think the best time to fix a mistake is immediately at the game after it. And I think at home, thankfully, not away. I think City should have too much for this Leverkusen side. I'm expecting a sort of not a renewed focus because I don't think they like to focus, just renewed um, purpose maybe, and I guess just an urge to fix the mistakes of the Newcastle game, which there were plenty of. And I think it's a good challenge while not being too much for us. And I'm expecting City to get something from this. I'm expecting not a comfortable win, but yeah. I mean, I am actually. I'm expecting a reasonably comfortable win. They're a very similar level of side to Dortmund, and City were impressive against Dortmund. And I think we should have more than enough to expose. The Leverkusen aren't Newcastle; they're a very different side, and I think we should have enough there to beat them.
Yeah, City, of course, enter this game after losing 2-1 to Newcastle in the Premier League. And it'll be interesting to see sort of how many changes, if any, Guardiola does make to his starting lineup. How much rotation do you expect, Stephen, from City, and who would you like to see feature against Leverkusen?
Um, I'm expecting a little bit. I wouldn't. I don't think there's gonna be loads of changes, but like you look at the bench, I think John Stones tends to come in these games. I think there's actually a chance we might see a Bob or Savino start. I know Savino didn't have a great cameo, and neither did Oscar Bob. I think Reinders has got a decent chance of starting as well. You look around, look, Marmoush. I think Marmoush needs to start ASAP. I don't know for who or where, but I think Marmoush. When you look at the chances that we missed the other day against Newcastle, it feels like an absolute certainty for me to get some minutes. Rico Lewis gets minutes in the Champions League quite often. I think there's a decent chance he'll play as well. Probably, maybe not, but then you look at other people who could get some minutes. Ain't Nori could get a start potentially. I know O'Reilly's done nothing wrong, but it's the kind of game where I can imagine Ain't Nori getting a run out just because it's going to have to happen at some point. And at home against Leverkusen when we're in decent form, I can potentially see that. Um, yeah, maybe Stones in defence with one of the others sitting out. Uh, yeah, but there's a few potential changes there. Having said that, Guardiola still might go for 9 or 10 out of the 11 that started the other day and ask them to fix the mistakes, so to speak. And I do think he's got, his head sort of set on an 11 at the moment, which he likes. I think there's a decent chance Shirky drops out of this, actually. I think he might be on the bench for this one. I wouldn't have played him against Newcastle personally, so I was generally surprised he did. I guess the logic is that he has to sort of learn on the job, so to speak, the intensity of the Premier League. I think he's much more suited to this game, weirdly, but I still think he'll probably sit this one out. So yeah, I can see a few changes. Maybe there'll be one out wide, and there'll be one in defence, and potentially one in midfield. There'll be one across each position, and with Haaland obviously and Donnarumma sort of untouchable.
Yeah, and as for Leverkusen, they won't be at full strength for this one. They've got Robert Andrich is suspended, and they've got, I think, as things stand, Grimaldo, Vasquez, and Palacios are all injured. So that's a bit of a boost for City. And Having said that, Claudio Echeverri on loan at Man City is available to play though, and we'll come to him shortly. But in terms of the importance of this fixture for City, how important is it, do you think, in terms of securing a top eight finish and getting automatic qualification for the last 16? Bearing in mind as well, City have still got to travel to Real Madrid as well as play Bodo Glimt and Galatasaray in their remaining league phase fixtures.
Yeah. Yeah, hugely important. I think City will win this. You'd be on 13 points at that point. They say 15 points is sort of the magical number to get top eight qualification. I think City have been much better in Champions League this season, and they want to get a chance to right those wrongs from the Newcastle game. Yeah, it's huge. You win your home games, you've got a massive chance, and then get something away at one of the Bodo, Glimt, or Real Madrid, and you'd expect it to be the Norwegian side, and you're probably through. So I think City will finish top eight. I think they're going to win this game, and I think they'll probably beat Galatasaray as well.
Yeah,
Is it Galatasaray? Yeah, it's Galatasaray, isn't it?
yeah,
They'll
last
probably
game,
beat
yeah.
them as well. So yeah, I think we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, hopefully so. And finally on this game, then going to get a score prediction from you, Stephen, for City's clash with Leverkusen.
3-1. I think there's going to be a few goals on it. Yeah, 3-1.